Hello, my beautiful. So, we need to talk about the Idaho 4 case. Now, do we believe everything that someone else claims is true? And especially when they've written a book before a trial and they're claiming all this information that they've learned, and there's a gag order. So, who am I talking about? If you haven't guessed, I'm referring to Mr. Bloom Blum Balloon. And he has made a lot of claims. And I've listened to a lot of his interviews, which he's a writer, he's dramatic. I respect that. Totally do. But he made a claim that he did not hear the 911 call himself, that he's never heard it. Then he goes on to say that he heard about it. So if you back up in a lot of his interviews, he'll tell you he has sources that know those that are under the protective gag order, but aren't under the gag order themselves. So he's claiming to have all this inner knowledge. Now, we've all had our suspicions, like it's been tossed around our beautiful YouTube true crime streets, that Hunter was the one that used the probably DM's phone, because it's a roommate's phone. Sorry, I didn't realize my mic was at the bottom. At least I'm not muted for once. But that Hunter had made the call. And we were all like, which Hunter? There's others. There's the Hunter the triplet. There's the Hunter the friend, and so forth. But we could never pin it down. Now, if we're going to believe even the basic of things that Howard Bloom says, or Blum, whatever, Howard B., Mr. B. We're going to call him Mr. B. If you believe what Mr. B is telling in his interviews and revealing in his book in the smallest of details, I would choose, in my opinion, it wouldn't be a far stretch to believe he's right, that it is Hunter J. So then we have to back up, because we've also heard through the grapevine, rumors on the YouTube street. We've heard the hearsay that it was Hunter that actually took the pulse of Ethan, and that Ethan's body was somehow blocking the door. Yet I heard Chief Rice say the doors were locked and shut, or shut and locked. I heard that on the victim's doors when he did a press conference. I can't find it, so I don't know. But then I'm even more confused, because when you read the PCA, the first victim that the PCA refers to being seen is Xana on the floor. And if Ethan is blocking the door, and I'm all like, what in the hell is going on? So if Hunter J made that call, what does that mean to this case to you? I'm just saying, we're finding out little tiny details that can change the direction of the case. Now, I have a big question. We're going to be getting into some stuff. If this is a rug cartel hit, why are people cleaning up the crime scene like a latent shoe print? Let's get over to chat. We're going to dig deep. We're going to be talking a lot about this stuff. I want your opinion. Make sure and leave it. We'll pin it up in chat. And welcome to 1111 True Crime. I'm excited to be here with you. As well as, if you are watching the live or the replay, you are feeding the algorithm. And I thank you humbly for that. Thanks for all the support. Whether you share, like, subscribe, hit the bell, it all matters. Or even leave a comment. I appreciate those as well, as long as they're respectful. And right before I head over to chat, and we're going to talk about the 911 call, I did watch Mr. J's little rebuttal. And I'll discuss it at the end of the video so that we stay on task. But I would like to say that I think when somebody disagrees with me, I choose a higher path than character defamation, because that'll get you in trouble. You know, that'll get you somewhere. But hey, some men are gentlemen, like Rory. So before we head over to our live chat and let you guys, you beautiful people, talk, I want to shout out to Rory a special thank you so incredibly much over on Thou Shalt Not Kill True Crime. I went over there. Me and Rory hit it off. We're like true crime best friends. It was incredible. It was eye-opening. We pushed each other's envelopes. We both got into it. I didn't realize the time had passed that fast. So be sure and check it out after the live. I'll go get the link and I will post it again in the video down below, or in the description in the box. All right, my lovelies, let's get over to chat time. How y'all doing? Let's see what we got. A lot of beautiful people here. I'm going to say hi to a few of you, mainly my mods. Hello, Jennifer Swain, Mr. Ifs. I think that's it for now for mods. Is Az here? I haven't seen Az in a while. Could be that I'm on a different timeline because we've switched to 4. I'll have to email her. And hello to everyone. I appreciate you. So let's get into this a little bit, right? Love Tina says, and I heard before Hunter making the 911 call that one of the girls did, but passed out and couldn't finish taking it. That's what I heard too. Well, I heard it a little different, but that could be it too. Who knows? I heard that one of the roommates dialed 911 and then allegedly passed out, and that Hunter took the phone. Could explain why he's not calling from his own phone, right? I mean, that's weird too. Why not call from your own phone unless somebody has already dialed it and 911's called? Or it could even be that maybe dispatch was like, are you getting a pulse? And somebody handed Hunter the phone. So all good points, good points. Sully Spirit, hello, my beautiful. Danny and the Truth Tribe, that's for real. Welcome aboard the Truth Train. Yeah, I definitely don't mean disrespect when I disagree with somebody's theory, but I've been in this business since 2016, if you want to call it that, the true crime streets. And I've been questioned 1,000 times by other creators, and I never got like my panties in a wad like some men do, where they've literally got to be like, you're dense, you're just dense. And I'm like, wow. But hey, I was hoping he'd be a good sport. He's the one that said, hey, if you make a video on me, I'll make a video on you. And I thought it was going to be a debate, but he took it to a level. He just sped through my video, didn't even show what I said, didn't show the part where he claimed everything, but we can get into it later. I do have something more to add, just because if you're going to make the claim in a major case that everybody's working on, that you know where the knife, the murder weapon came from, you can expect some eyes from all the creators, just saying. So it's part of what we do here. And it's not personal from our standpoint. But you might take it personal if you have a big ego or something. I don't know. Donna Basil says, wondering if DM or BF and others got rid of evidence and cleaned up and then called Hunter J. So we have a latent footprint. And I'm thinking to myself, so this is something that they didn't find the first time. They had to use chemicals to find it. That's a latent shoe print. Now, if this is some unknown Brian Kohlberger or somebody else that just random SK, right? Or cartel, are any of those people going to clean it up themselves? Or would any of the roommates or anybody else be like, hold on, get a bucket. Yeah, the sponge out of the drawer. Let's scrub that shoe print out of here. Even if they stepped in it, if it's a cartel hit, a drug hit, I don't believe so. Maybe you differ in opinion, and I respect that. But even if you stepped in the blood itself, if it's a cartel hit, if it is a random person that you don't know, you just be like, I stepped in blood, I think, when I was trying to get my phone. I don't know. My friends are gone. So why cover it up unless someone is hiding the scene, which means the scene was altered. When you find a latent shoe print that takes chemicals to develop it, it is an altered crime scene. And most, in general, from my basic understanding of working on other cases with state crime lab people, they've explained to me from a Wisconsin state crime lab that if it's an altered crime scene, because this was a big deal in another case we worked, they don't take it serious. The evidence is like stupid then. They have no idea what to do when they're collecting. Like if the bones, the person, okay, so this human being passes away in Lot A and gets moved to Lot D by a third party, not said killer or whatever, just somehow gets moved. They're not going to do much over here. That's what the lab told me. They're not going to do much. They're going to collect the bones, but they don't care how they're laying anymore. Because it doesn't matter. It has nothing relative to the actual case. And we argued. We were like, what about if the killer was the one that moved the bones? Wouldn't you want to get the DNA? And they're like, once the scene is altered, you're not getting the truth ever again. And so I'm looking at this case and I'm thinking about that latent shoe print. And I'm like, that's altering the scene. So how much more is altered when we have an 8-hour difference? Zyra, hello. Welcome to 1111 True Crime. You said, as I understood it, when one of the girls came out with shock after seeing a friend, she passed out in the grass and the phone was on the ground. Hunter picked it up. 911 was like, hello. That seems very plausible. That could be very well what happened. Love Tina says, I know who you're talking about. Oh, whatever. Dale Langley, I think if either or both knew there was a fearful event happening and did not call 911, they should get charged. Was that the leverage? Because give me a 1 if you believe that Dylan Morton's son saw someone clad in black. Give me a 2 if you feel like the fact she could have been charged in a crime, of possibly being charged in a crime, possibly, for this delayed 911 call. interfering with a police investigation at the minimum, in my opinion. But I'm no lawyer. I'm just a mom, right? All right. Could they have been like, if you don't want this charge and possibly be seen as a suspect, you will cooperate? Because isn't that how they work CIs? I'm just asking. Oh, can I show it? Kathleen Pierce, don't block that, you guys. Mods, I love you guys. You do a great job. But please don't block something just negative in an opinion towards me. I'm okay with that. Now, if they call me names, if they slander my character and be like, you're just a dumb bitch, sure. But if it's just somebody that wants to share their opinion, I'll read it. So, Kathleen Pierce, even though my mods are very protective of me, you wrote, I think you shouldn't use other people's video for show. Stick with your own thing. You have been really off track lately with nonsense type stuff. So, then why are you here? Why are you in my studio? Because I'll tell you why. Because you know that if anybody, even a creator, anybody is going to make a claim that the actual murder weapon really came out of Brent Kopacka's apartment and try to convince me that a search warrant was issued from Pullman, which would be Whitman, and then the evidence was turned in to satisfy that search warrant to a completely different judge in Latah County by Maury, and you're gonna be like, let me show you. And you're going to show me a blank form that has no name on it and be like, it doesn't say Kopacka, but you got to use your imagination. That kind of shit, you're going to get called out. I'm just brave enough to do it. Now, I treated with a lot of respect, but I lost that respect because you don't know what I did at that eggplant. I worked with jurisdictions. Bird, avian, flu. The avian bird flu. I'm an eggplant. We crack the eggs. We ship liquid eggs to Japan. We ship liquid eggs across the border to Minnesota, Michigan. There are rules. USDA is very much like the feds. You have a hard time getting it through. So, when it comes to a search warrant, I know a little bit about it because I've actually participated in a trial, right? And in that was out of Wausau, Wisconsin. And it was an attempted murder trial that I was in. Now, I wasn't the person. I was testifying, and I was working with the lawyer. The last name was Stitchin. And in that, I also learned about search warrants as well. And one of the things I know is when a search warrant is sent out, it is that judge that issued it in that county that must be satisfied. So, you've made it clear, very clear, that it came from Pullman, Whitman. That's how they went into Kopacka's apartment. God, yeah, left it right on the counter. Okay. Then why didn't they take the items back to that judge that entered that search warrant and then transfer the evidence over? Now, it could be that came out of Kopacka's apartment. It very well could be. But you don't need to call me some dense darling and demean me and character slander me, because I didn't do that to you. We have the right as creators to challenge each other when we see bullshit being spewed. Now, I treated you with respect, but you didn't give me that back. And that's where I'm no longer a nice lady. So back up, Bubba. You make a big claim, put your big girl panties on and own up to it. All right. Thought I'd leave it for the end, but I'm just saying. I watched your entire thing. You ignored the entire clip, and I have it all recorded. I've got every damn receipt where you literally tell us they went into Kopaka's apartment with that search warrant and grabbed that stuff off there, and you have nothing to show for it. We had a lawyer come on, and I said, I would like to know who was listed in the probable cause to be able to get said search warrant from Latah County to Amazon, because it looks like they redacted a name. Well, we had a civil lawyer, doesn't know search warrants that good, but she did say, whoever this person is, we don't know because it's sealed. And you're over there literally screaming at the camera in an echo about how stupid I am because I was like, who's the person? So apparently you don't know your shit. And yet you're over here yelling at me. You're gonna have problems with a lot of creators if you have a theory and you can't be questioned without throwing that person and their channel and all their viewers under the bus and being like, well, listen, Darling, you're about as dense. I didn't come from an eggplant, a chicken plant. We didn't have a chicken. This is a major, nationwide, worldwide, Michael Foods, Egg Corporation, shipping liquid eggs across countries. I had to work with USDA to export. I had so much legal training that I passed the auctioneer's exam, which is the same that the lawyers take as a bar exam, so that I could help them sell the eggs and get a bid, because you had to have a legal licensed auctioneer. I'm not dumb. I just disagree with you. So, don't be all ugly just because you can't take a little questioning. I was very nice to you. All right. I'm just saying. My ex called me darling, and he was an egotistical, arrogant mother flucker. Seriously. So that dude called me darling like 6 times and told me how stupid I was. As Maddie would say, you fucked up, mister. That wasn't nice. And I'm not nice when somebody stamps on my toe, when in their video, they're like, make a video about this. I'll make one about you. And I'm like, okay, because I disagree. I'll play. I'll do what you're saying. I'll make a video and we'll go back and forth and banter. I love doing that. I've done that with a lot of creators. I've never had anybody come back and literally defame my character and literally play my video without stopping. Yep. Wow, didn't even show the part where you're the one that claimed all that shit and owned up to it? No, not today, Day. So this will be the only time, and this, I mean this, that your name is ever spoken in my chat, because if anybody brings your channel in here, I will ban them, because I am not having that shit. You don't defame other creators like that, where you literally tell them how stupid they are and make fun of what they did as a living to support their autistic child as a single mother. Wow. You're a piece of work. And that's nice that I said work, because you know that ain't what I'm thinking. Don't mess with Mama D. You start telling me that I'm stupid, that my job doesn't qualify me to do true crime. Well, I'll tell you what. You are no XLE. I had a lawyer listen to you. And I got a lot of cops in this town. I'm going to take your little video down there. I'm going to let them look at it and tell me if you're really ex-cop. Because it seems to me you would know that wherever the subpoena is issued, that's where it's satisfied. So if that weapon had come out of Kopacka's apartment, it would have went back to the Whitman judge that issued the said original subpoena. And then it would have been transferred over to the Latah County. Fact. And don't be giving them people all that bullshit about, well, it's sealed because it's Washington. You ain't going to see none of that. Why am I and everybody else able to pull up the Washington search warrant on Brian Koberger? But you said, oh, we aren't going to see anything from Washington because all search warrants would be sealed. No, they aren't. In a gag order case, Washington didn't have to follow those rules and they didn't seal it because they're a different state. So, learn to play nice. Learn to be able to be like, well, I disagree with you, Mama D, even though I like your channel. But let me show you what I was saying. Be a gentleman. Don't be a dick. You know how that went for Tony Mathis, right? All right. Derailed, totally. True Train just kept going, but I had to stop. I'm just saying that pissed me off. Let's get back into this. I said good. I said gorgeous because I genuinely love your accent and think you're beautiful inside and out. Would you rather I call you ma'am? You tell me what you're comfortable with. I don't want to get anger, people. I'm never really that angry. But that pissed me off with the way he did me. I mean, be a man. Don't get your panties in a little wad just because somebody disagrees with you. Oh, darling, it ain't the end of the world. It's just some YouTuber that you don't care for saying, wait a minute, I don't think so. I disagree, but I respect you. Don't turn it into some little girl spat in they're 13 and in high school, because I'll tell you, I'll come right back at you. Valentina, amen, Mama D, see through what he wants. He loves the negative attention. Probably so. I know, Sully, you got my spirit. Y'all got my back. I trust ya. So, you guys, let's get back on to the topic. That's right. We got to keep an open mind. It very well could be that they got a search warrant, because we know they did have a search warrant for Kopacka's, and they could have gotten there and got that. They could have. But it would have been turned over to satisfy that search warrant. It's the law. But anyway, let's get back over to the 911 call. And let's talk about altered scene. We have a latent shoe print. They don't find DNA in the party house. No DNA, but 3 unknown and Brian. How? There are dirty dishes sitting in the middle of the table. It looks like blood splatter on the cupboards in the kitchen. We've got a missing golf club set. And I'm like, how are they? I told Rory, in my humble opinion, I've lived here 10 years, and if they do a DNA test on this old house, it's over 100 years old. But it's been maintained well. If they do a DNA test on my house, they may still find evidence of the previous owner. So how in the hell did they come out without anything in that place? Nothing. No. Even if they didn't get the killer's DNA, why didn't they find all the party goers there? Why didn't they find all of a Sigma Chi there. I mean, touch DNA works in different ways. We've got a victim that transferred DNA from everywhere he went to, which was the Sigma Chi. He lived at Sigma Chi. So if he's over at the frats, hanging out with the frats at Sigma Chi at a party with amazing amount of people with his girlfriend, Xana, and Ethan and Xana get walked home by, now we know it's a Hunter. We just don't know if it's Hunter the friend, which would be really interesting, or if it's Hunter the triplet. But Stacy Chapin suggests Hunter walked the two home that night. And I'm like, okay, so transferred DNA can be transferred with somebody coughing. I can cough, and now my DNA could be on a complete stranger's hair. And if they're in the word, am I a suspect? Depends on if they find my DNA and I'm in the area and blah, blah, blah. But all that at the Sigma Chi, and they didn't bring back DNA, touch DNA from everywhere they'd been. I have questions. Mr. Sentinel says, we already know that the judges and the attorneys break the rules in the Latah County, so it is so much of a stretch to consider that they sealed because of a mistake. Natural Helene says, oh yeah, 100% Mama D on DNA. So if there isn't all this DNA, what did they do? Did they clean it? Is it true? Did they clean it like they're selling the place, as Rory said? Did they clean this place like it's getting sold tomorrow? And then is that why we have Kaylee sitting up and Maddie in the same bed? Or was it Maddie sitting up and Kaylee? I think it was Kaylee sitting up and Maddie. Because they were placed there? Like, boom, boom. I don't know. Wouldn't there be a blood trail everywhere? You're not going to get that blood trail out of there. The only thing they found was that latent shoe print. It's really got me thinking. Always Blessed says, let's agree to disagree. That's how I started my whole video, y'all. He's the one that told us as creators, go ahead and make a video and I'll critique it or I'll rebuttal or whatever. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Ah, you want one like my blouse, Nosy Cat? Thank you, lovely. I got it on Amazon, I think. Everything comes from Amazon for me. Lisa Hendrick, wonder if it wasn't as bad as they want us to think. Something to think on. Think about. It's so hard when there's so much smoke and mirrors in front of us to be able to tell what is exactly true, right? Hollyberry says, oh, there was obviously tons of people's DNA in that house. I am so with you, Hollyberry. I would celebrate if they were like, we're going to be honest. It was so packed full. It was a petri dish of DNA. But that's not what they're telling us. They're telling us they only found 3 others besides Brian. And you go on to say, Hollyberry says, Ellie is so full of it, to say they only found but so many. I agree. Cindy Rose said, did the DNA not get collected? Someone said they painted before they tore it down. That is true, Love Tina. So, I'm one of those that's like, When did the bodies come out? Because I didn't see anything, not one picture. There's never been produced online out of all this time, not one picture of the bodies being removed. And a lot of people will respond, well, I saw a tarp over the front door and it went to a pickup truck or a truck, and that's when they were moving it. And I'm like, no, 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 nay, nay. That was December 15th. And they were painting. Yep, cleaning and painting with allegedly asbestos. That's what they told us. Hollyberry goes on to say, even though there was a cleanup, I still think there were multiple different DNAs in the house. Syra Lovely says, I survived some situations like that, and honestly, they don't. They make it look pretty and clean. Very few go in with bleach and scrub. Well, let me ask you this. We'll get into Annie's mom. Well, I'll read it real quick. It says, I think the cleanup and house tearing down cover up for fraternity. Now we're talking. So if this is rug cartel, why are we missing 8 hours? Why do we have a clean latent shoe print? Why is the dog alive? Right? If this is brats, could we have a cleaned up shoe print? If this is 4 individuals or 5 that kind of all get together and maybe already live in the house, could they be protecting themselves? But the biggest question is, why would anybody clean up a latent shoe print for anybody else other than to self-preserve? I don't get it. You can paint all you want. The chemical will go right through it. So, there was a murder down in Arcadia, Wisconsin. My daughter would have been maybe 4. My son maybe 8 at the time. And my husband was a contractor for drywalling and so forth. And he got called to an apartment building down in Arcadia. And he didn't tell me why he was going there alone. Because we always went with him on the weekend. I was free, the kids. We'd go stay in an apartment if he was at a place like that. And we'd enjoy being like at new parks and get to see the tourist stuff while he worked. But this time, he was really down low about stuff. He's like, you got to stay here with the kids. Whatever you do, don't come there. We'd been married about 9 years. And I was like, what's up with that? So I decided to go there without telling him, because that made me really, really super sus. And I had no idea that this woman in the apartment had been absolutely brutally slain in that apartment. And he was on his 3rd layer of kills after the walls had been cleaned to try to cover it. I was like, they're just going to paint over it and re-rent the apartment? And he's like, well, yeah. And I'm like, OMG. Aw, thank you, Jennifer Swain. I love you, darling. Thank you for that snooper chat for $50. You say you're a class act, Mama D? I don't know. I'm not an act. I'm real. You see me as I am. I get mad, too. I am a happy lady. I do love my people, and I love what I do. But I also don't put up with somebody being character defamation or, throwing my people under the bus. And Melody says, whoa, Nelly, woo-wee, this girl's on fire. That song, I'm on fire. I love you guys. Cyrus says that they say there was a party that night before, but I guess that was at the neighbors, allegedly, or earlier or not. Either way, it says a lot that they pushed it over. Barbara and those two cops said they moved bodies at night through side. Barbara and those two cops. Who's that, hon? I don't know that person. Mr. Sentinel says it's weird in either case. That's what I'm beginning to wonder. If we have an altered crime scene, cleaned, erased the evidence, except for the latent shoe print, then that would explain a lot. A planted sheath, a latent shoe print that's been cleaned up, the lack of DNA all over the place. Just saying. Musical Contessa says, great segment here, 1111. TC, thank you, lovely. Love Tina says, OMG. Well, I'm just saying, we want to treat everybody with respect, but once they quit delivering respect, I'm not going to drop to their level and defame them and such, but I will defend myself. I absolutely will defend myself and my people, my family. We're not stupid. We got here one voice at a time by working towards the truth together. And I am not afraid, nor should any creator ever be afraid. And that's me too. To have somebody challenge our theory. And if that person has a reason why that theory ain't working, then should you be a creator if you've been proven that it's not exactly right there, but you're just going to stick with it and derail it and go with it anyway and convince people? Because I'll tell you now, if you're trying to say that that person who is no longer with us to defend themselves did that, and you know better, because you know it would have had to go to a different county and satisfy a different search warrant and that it would have been an evidence transfer? What you trying to pull, Willis? Retired cop in New York works with another cop and MD in forensics. Great team. Very cool. Good question. What if LE is lying about the latent shoe print? Now, allegedly, it's size 10. Kohlberger wears a 13, and it's a Vans style shoe. Oh, Donna Salamander says, who called 911, please? So, Howard Bloom Balloon, Mr. B, the book writer, and I have to tell you, I like his dramatic writing. I don't like the way he tells the story about Brian Kohlberger, but as just a general verbiage, he does a good job. But he claimed that the hunter that did the 911 call was the friend. So take it with a grain of salt, because obviously there's a gag order and Mr. B would have had to get it from hearsay just like us, only he's claiming that the hearsay he got it from is the people that know the people under the gag, and that it kind of got leaked like telephone basically. So I don't know for sure. But that allegedly is what he's claiming, is that Hunter J, the friend, is the one that made the 911 call. Now, my question is Hunter J the same one that walked Santa and Ethan home? Because if they're getting home at 1:45 and Ethan Chapin's mother is saying 2 o'clock is their darkest hour, that's only a 15-minute difference. And he's the one that put his hand on the victim's neck, allegedly, to take the pulse of Ethan. So his DNA would be on the victim and could be explained away from then on. Even if he's the attacker, how are you going to prove it? Yes, you probably did find my DNA all over here, because I went in the room and I checked pulses of the victim. I stepped all over. I touched things. My hair was in this room. Where does that put us? And is Hunter J and Adam L and JD all a team that we don't know about? I don't know. They all go to the same college. They all know the same people. JD has been with Kaylee forever. Hunter J is allegedly Ethan's best friend. So we got JD, his roommate Adam. We've got Kaylee. We've got Xana. We've got Ethan. And we've got Hunter J and JD. Everybody's there partying together. So how do we know that these frats weren't Hunter, JD, and AL? I'm just asking. Natural Healing said, pagans, frats didn't have to take CSI because they had Ellie to help, in my opinion. Sally Shepherdson says, if a transgender has been changed into female, does the woman still have male DNA? Yes. Yes, that is a fact. Melody Kenneth Day, in my humble opinion, he walked them home and stayed and was there for the whole evening. He was no friend to anyone, just my opinion. How many of you felt awkward, uncomfortable with Hunter J's eulogy at the memorial for Ethan? Give me a 1 if you felt well, if you've seen it. Give me a 1. If you felt uncomfortable, like he was like, yeah, he was always bumming money. Like, do you got $4, $6? I was always buying him things. He never paid me back. I mean, was that kind of weird? Or is it just mama? Taurus 16 says, yeah, what is Pete's alibi? Angel Fire says, Pete was E's best friend. Also, you can hear Pete on the Linda Lane footage audio too. That's correct. You cannot change the DNA you're born with. That is your dinonucleosis or something. That's why they call it DNA. So, because nobody can say it. Now, Rolomoto, where are you getting that there were wet towels all over outside? I mean, we all saw the backyard. There were no wet towels. I'm confused by that. But I do appreciate you said allegedly. Rotomolo says allegedly. It was Little Miss Funky that got home. Oh, and called 911 and then fainted. Also, supposedly, and I know it's supposedly, but I have a southern accent, and that's how I talk, so you don't need to correct me. So, supposedly, there was bodies in a tub with running water and house flooded. There was wet towels outside everywhere, too. I had not heard all that, but I do know there was a fire hydrant that was flooding, but that was actually the accident that was related in Pullman, Washington, near Kohlberger's house, where a drunk driver allegedly hit a fire hydrant and I guess some people. Oh, Borque, hello, or Borque, sorry. And we have a black suspicious truck in the area, not known to other people, allegedly. Hey, Ray Annette, welcome in. Come on in, get comfortable. Hunter JS eulogy was weird and kind of horrible. I kind of felt the same way, Taurus. I was like, why be so all negative? Rella says makes sense why they mentioning and pointing out the restrooms before entering each room. Well, you'd think they'd say there were wet towels everywhere, but the PCA doesn't have to tell you any details, really, just enough to get him arrested. Taurus 16 says in the beginning there were allegedly girls in wet towels out front of the crime scene. I didn't hear that. So that big pile of garbage outside was actually across the street from Sigma Chi. Yep, because remember when Brian Eaton or whatever was doing his little Ashley Banfield interview and he was standing in front of it? And then we looked that way and we could see up the path. It's just Mama. I moved the little desk lamp. Hey, City Girl. Welcome back, lovely. Who to London shared a video of them collecting evidence in the backyard. Allegedly, there was a towel that looked like it was stained with some kind of red substance. It was a while back. So maybe a towel, right? Angel Fire GBR says, have you heard Ethan on Linda Lane footage audio shouting Pete to stop multiple times at 1111 True Crime? Well, I know y'all are all into the Linda Lane footage. I don't believe it. I don't. Because I don't trust Moscow PD. And that was leaked to us, I believe, to get us all to go over here and listen to it and trick us to stay off the real path. So they're notorious. MPD is historically proven to mess with audio. Truly. And I just feel like it was leaked for a purpose. I truly do. I mean, we heard Brett Payne. I'm going to be doing this like thing where you see it, and we're going to review Brett Payne because Ann Taylor questions Brett Payne on the stand, and he's testifying during the hearing. And she's like, you didn't get any video of a car? None? And he's like, not that I'm aware of. And I'm like, we got no, you have no video of this car? Do you guys think the 911 call is ever going to surface, or it's just going to poof? 3 DNAs. Rotamola says 3 females in tubs. Okay. I'll let you believe it. I respect everybody's opinion. Melissa says, I have a question, just a theory. What if Hunter was at the scene before the crime, I think before the crime, and then was hit by a car and covered up the bruises? If the hunter at the accident, the same hunter? Oh my gracious. Hey, Peppermint Patty, I'm so glad you got alive. I see you in the comments. Thank you, lovely. Thank you all for your kind comments and smart theories. That's my opinion, natural healing. A lot of overlay. There is information on it, I believe. I believe Linda Lane had some information, but I believe they've overlaid and overlaid and overlaid. And that way you can pretty much find whatever you think you want. But in my opinion, it was to get everybody over here redirected. Hello, Mr. Ifs. Hello, Miss Dolphin. Joyful Dolphin. Good to see you both, lovely. I think you are very right on that. Sully Spirit says, I believe many were jealous of Kaylee, Maddie, Zana, and Ethan. I do too, including. So let me make a note because I don't want to forget this. I want to be able to hold up to my word, and I don't want to forget. We are reviewing tomorrow, which is Saturday, 4chan, from a whole new perspective. Thank you, my lovely Jenny, for sending me these little sticky notes like the FBI Fake Bureau of Investigation uses. I greatly appreciate you. Well, let's see what you got going on here. Shane, hello, lovely. You say, if they really had nothing at all on BK, why was he arrested? Now, this is an excellent question. So let's just say they're just looking for a patsy. Any patsy. It could be anybody. But they need a patsy because they don't want it to come from a homeboy standpoint at the university. All right. So let's go with some other people's theories that the weapon in the sheath came out of Kopaka's apartment. Why in the hell wouldn't they have made Kopaka the patsy? They'd have saved millions of dollars, darling, and it's all about the money. Also, why would the knife not have also been planted if they had gotten that with the sheath out of Kopaka's apartment? See how it doesn't work? It just doesn't work. You got to play your theories out. You got to be able to, really think about and take critical criticism without returning character defamation. Just saying. Grow up. Tour 16, DD brought up grub truck, sweater guy. Okay, drip drop. Being talked to by cops later, bruise on head. Anyone know who that guy is? I'm sorry, Drip. I can see the bruise. I can see it on his head. I can. I'm sorry, lovely. The Lynn Lane footage gives me a headache, says Crystal. It is weird. It's like 1,000 little voices all going bam, and then whoop, whoop, blah, blah, blah. Meow. Right? I can't. Hello, Nikki Watson. How are you? Welcome to 1111 True Crime. Sally Shepherdson says, who ordered DoorDash? Who do you guys think ordered DoorDash? Give me your input. Who ordered DoorDash? Was it Xana? Or was it somebody trying to obscure the timeline while they were cleaning up they needed to eat? That is so disgusting. Or are we being completely lied to, darling? And did DoorDash not get ordered that late in the morning? Was it much earlier? And why was it ordered if Xana ate pizza with Ethan while on the phone to her dad, Jeff? I don't know. A lot of questions there. Wouldn't that be interesting? El Borque says Jack the Ripper. I'm just going to give it to you. That's my opinion. Boom! Because. Oh, do I have it? Oh, I'll have to get it. Let me make another note. I found my picture of Bethany and Showalter together as kids. I found it. Now I got to find it again. But it's in a file now. Uh-huh. And they're definitely younger, like high school. Natural Healing puts out there, nobody ordered DoorDash, in my opinion. That would be interesting. Musical Contessa says, were the two roomies' clothing tested from the day before? The clothing from the porch photo. Ooh, that is a great question. That makes me really wonder. Tamara Terry says, allegedly, there are 3 crime scenes: Banfield, Linda Lane, and King Road. Female military intelligence informant said in April 2023, there is more than one house used, more crime scenes overlaid. What's the name of this military intelligence informant? Who's that? Got to have a name to go with it so I can do my own research. Christian, is it Lacobellis? Says, what is the likelihood there will be an actual damn trial? I plead the 5th. I think they're losing all their evidence. It's getting broke down before we even get to trial. I don't know. We want to hear the 911 call and want to see what the 2 roomies look like on the phone camera in clothes from previous day, like Kaylee's and Maddie's clothing from the patio photo and the food truck. I agree. We want that. Riley Wagner says, I think Xana was giving us a hint. Jack in the Box. So, do y'all remember back in the day where we did the whole thing about that wouldn't even have been open, that it would have had to been Taco Bell because that was the only DoorDash open at that time? Don't you guys find it really weird that the actual private driver is claiming, or they're claiming, that after the private driver, they're claiming, meaning law enforcement is claiming, that the private driver dropped off the girls and went to Taco Bell. And I'm like, that's awful weird. Because if that's the only fast food joint open, then that would have to be DoorDash, in my humble opinion. And then we have the private driver leaving the girls' place and going to Taco Bell? I don't get it. I don't get it. Joyful says, Mom, it sounds like the Looney Tunes cartoon there for a minute. Tour 16 said, I still think Xana lied to her dad so as not to alarm him. Could be right on that. Children can be very protective of their parents. I say children, you know what I mean. She was a beautiful young lady, but she's still his baby. Jennifer Swain says next Thursday, it came out today, that at the hearing next Thursday, that a trial date might be set. What do you guys think? Do you think that'll really happen? Angel Fire says, if the timing is right. J-Rod on Point says, passing by to check in with Mama D. Mad love, stay on point as always. Thank you. Love, Tina said, well, here's my problem. And by the way, J-Rod, don't come in here after I heard you talk about me the way you did. I saw that. I would prefer you not come in and try to buddy up with me when you talk smack about me and then come in here. I listened to you. I heard you. Then, but yeah, if you guys want to give him the boot, that's okay, because I didn't appreciate that business. Can't be a hater and then come in here and be like, hey, Mama D, shout my name out. Get my channel out there. I just dropped by to get my name out there. No. I mean, we're going to be honest on our channel. Christian Lacabella says a private driver supposedly has a food receipt for the drive-thru, but nothing seems honest or straightforward in this sinister case. I so agree. I so agree. My mystical journey. Busted. Busted. That's right, because I seen it come out of your mouth. I heard it come out of your mouth. Oh, yeah. Rhonda says, very weird Taco Bell, and he said they were quiet and back. Only talking about their food. Tourist 16 says, I thought the driver guy said K&M talked about eating their pasta on the ride home. Yep, that's what I heard too. Jennifer Swain says, busted. Correct. Can't go and say and talk a bunch of shite about people and then go on their channel and be like, hey, I'm over here. Yeah. Go be a hater on your own time. Sally Shepherdson says the evidence is almost gone. That's why I put erased. The prosecution will use their informants. This is the deal. Brett Payne is saying, we got no car on video. Not that I know of. Well, you're the lead investigator, dude. We have no house. The victims have been put into a cremation. Let me switch over here. The victims have been cremated. The house has been destroyed. We've lost the footage or didn't have footage of the car. Okay. We've got Cyree saying critical evidence is missing over here to be able to put Brian anywhere near Moscow. In fact, Cyree is saying he believes he can put Brian somewhere completely different. The case is crumbling before our eyes. And so's the evidence. And pretty soon, we're going to have to really no longer ante up, but it's going to get a call. There's going to be a call. When you're playing poker and you've got a man's life out there and you're gambling with it, you damn sure better back up what the hell you're saying. Because if you're the prosecution and you thought you were going to get away with some little sticker gate kindergarten bullcrap, in this case, you're sadly mistaken. I want to thank you so incredibly much for joining me today. We're going to get our song going. I'm going to get off here. We have a lot to talk about. I think we're going to talk about reviewing 4chan from a completely different perspective. What if Jack D and AL actually wrote the 4chan? Let's look into that together and see what we think. All right, my lovelies, we're going to get you off this screen and off this one and off this one. And here you go. I love you. To the moon and back.
When a train whistles far away, and when the cold wind blows, when the lightning in your eyes reveals the darkness in your soul, the world will be reminded of what it already knows. 'Cause the days are gonna whisper and the months are gonna talk until the years yell out the truth. Time will tell, time will tell on you. No one may ever say a thing, but surely as the seasons change, you'll feel like every finger points at you, 'cause you're to blame. And the days are gonna whisper, and the months are gonna talk, until the years yell out the truth. Time will tell, time